welcome to International Schooling. Here at International Schooling, we believe that each child is different and deserves a well-tailored plan according to their needs. Hi, I'm your teacher Meru here at International Schooling, and we are so excited to have you with us on this journey. Whether you are traveling, whether you're playing sports, or you're just learning from home, we're very happy to teach you today. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so today we will be learning grade 9 American Curriculum Physics. We'll be doing Module 1, Lesson 7. Module 1 is our world in motion, and Lesson 7 is speed. So what is speed to you exactly? Anytime someone says speed to me, I think of the Flash. So right now, we're not going to talk about the Flash. We're going to talk about kinematics, which is the study of motion. Matics just means study of, and then kine means motion. Okay. So when we speak about motion, we're talking about different branches of physics. What's going to affect motion? How will one thing be misbalanced if we do something to one of the factors? So now we're talking about frames of motion. When it comes to relative motion, we talk about two people with two different points of views. So one is a person standing next to a stop sign who will see that stop sign as stationary, and then one would be driving past it. And that person who's driving past the stop sign would see the stop sign as moving backwards. Okay, so it's very difficult to explain this in words. So what I'm going to do, show you this diagram. You are in car 2, someone else is in car 1. Did car 1 move forward or did car 2 move backwards? Let's add a frame of reference. Okay? It is us who moved. Okay, so when you have a frame of reference, it's something that's stationary, it's solid, it's planted into the ground. So when we put that stop sign next to car 1, we notice that it's us moving backwards. So if we are moving backwards, then it's us in motion, not car 1 like I previously assumed. Right. It can be very difficult to type. And when you want to type something like maybe 1 through 2, like that, with a long line in between them to indicate a fraction, can be pretty difficult. So what you would do is just type the slash. So the slash is most likely going to be the bottom right of your computer. Everyone's computers are different, so I'm not sure what it looks like exactly on yours, but for me it's bottom right. If you want to show multiplication, sometimes you can use x, it's fine. It's just that when you have equations where you're solving for x, it can get a bit messy. So instead of using the x, you can use the little asterisk. So the asterisk looks something like this. On my keyboard, it is Shift 8. It could be somewhere completely different for you. Okay, for exponents, it can be difficult as well to use the tool, all that effort just for an exponent. So you don't have to. What you can do is just type out whatever the base is with an upside down V and whatever number exponent you have. For me, it's Shift 6. Just check on your keyboard to what that upside down or where that upside down V is. And then for square root, that is also a difficult input when you want to do a square root. So what you can do is simply just type out SQRT. It's fine, we'll know it's a square root. Right, so there's a difference between instantaneous speed and average speed. So if I am driving and someone says, "Hey Meru, how fast are you going?" My eyes will look down at the speedometer and I will see maybe 50 kilometers an hour. Okay, that is my instantaneous speed. Was I traveling 50 kilometers per hour the whole way? No, obviously not, because sometimes I stop, sometimes I go faster. Who knows? Okay, so instantaneous speed is your speed at that exact point that someone asks you about it. Average speed is after the entire trip is done. So average speed is a combination of your final speed and your initial speed divided by 2. Average means to divide how many factors we have. So, yeah, if you want to calculate speed, you take distance and divide it by time. Now, I am going to show you my trusty triangle that you can always use, whether it's for math or anything really. But as long as you have a three-factor equation, you are able to use this triangle. So this is my triangle. Okay. Right. You have distance, speed, or you can call it velocity. Velocity just means there's a direction included. Okay, and time. Now, how this triangle works is as long as you know one of the equations, which they gave us in the notes, you are able to determine all of them. So if you want to calculate, you can take this as a division line. Division line. And this one doesn't have a division line, so you can turn it into a multiplication symbol. Great. Now, if you want to calculate the speed or the velocity, right? Velocity is better because it indicates direction. More accuracy, even better. So velocity is equal to distance divided by time. Time is equal to distance divided by speed or velocity. Who knows? And distance is equal to your velocity multiplied by time. Now, you can use this triangle for anything with three factors. In chemistry, if you want to do mole calculations, molar mass, all of these things, use the triangle. As long as you know one equation and there's three factors, you would be able to use this triangle universally. Okay. Right, back to my notes. Cool. So, a sample calculation of average speed. Suppose you're trying to travel from Orlando to Washington. You're going to go from Orlando to Jacksonville, Jacksonville, Savannah, Savannah, Rosenville, Rosenville, Lumberton, Lumberton, Rocky Mount, Richmond, Richmond, Washington, right? Calculate the total distance that you traveled. So add all of them up. And that's the first part. So 893 miles. Now, they say that we left Orlando at 6 in the morning, reached Washington at 11 p.m. What is the elapsed time? 17 hours. Okay, so as long as you know how to calculate time to count, just use your fingers. You can go 6 a.m., 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep counting with your fingers if you don't know how time works, because it is also a very common concept for people to confuse, right? AM and PM mean two different things. AM means in the morning, PM means in the afternoon, but that is an English lesson. Okay, and if you want to find your average speed, take the distance divided by the time. Average speed is 52.5 miles per hour. Okay, simple calculation. Speed units. So sometimes you have to combine. It's a derived speed unit. It could be centimeters per second, miles per hour, meters per second. Okay, combination, two parts, like miles per hour, meters per second. Okay. And then we have another equation for average speed, which I like to use. There are 6 equations for speed and velocity and acceleration, and that's going to come way later on. But this one is cool because remember. So if you take your final speed and you take your initial speed and you add them together and then you divide it by 2, that should give you your average speed. Here are some practice questions. Let's say we're traveling in a car. If we look at the speedometer, it says 60 miles per hour. What does that mean? So it means every hour we travel 60 miles. Okay, if we continued at this speed for 30 minutes, how far are we going to travel? So in 1 hour, we did 60. In half an hour, we're going to do 30. So now that's 90. Okay, in total. The difference between instantaneous and average speed is one is exactly when you look down at the speedometer, and the other is taken after all the time has elapsed. Okay. This third question, which is faster, 100 meters in 4 seconds or 50 meters in 2.5 seconds? Immediately, I want to halve that. So 50 meters in 2.5 into 0.0 seconds is faster, so cheetah A. Again, feel free to pause and try to solve it on your own and then continue watching. Okay, like this. Right. Perfect. Speed problems. So when you go through speed problems, it's quite the procedure, right? You have to write everything that you have down, highlight them. In my days in school, we would be given actual exam papers, like physical copies, and I would highlight whatever I would need to write down, whatever I need to solve for, question mark. So if it was velocity that I'm solving for, I'd write down v equals to and a question mark. So I know that that is what I'm solving. You can answer these in any manner that you need to. Just try your hardest. Okay. So here are more sample questions. Pause, solve, and I will give you the answer. Okay. Pause again if you want to double check. Second question. Interesting. Another thing I'd like to point out is to always keep your units of measurement concise. So if you're talking about time in terms of minutes, keep everything, keep converting from whatever to minutes. If you are gonna go miles per hour, keep everything in miles and hours. Don't fluctuate and don't have different values because it will give you incorrect measurements. Okay. Problem solving methods again. Just you have whatever information. Sometimes they'll give you extra information on purpose to like throw you off. That's fine as well. Just remember to highlight what you need when you solve. More practice questions. Our triangle. Wow, that's a long question. Nice. Okay, just a quick recap of everything that we've learned in this lesson. Speed is the way motion works, how fast or how slow something is going. We often cannot tell unless we have a frame of reference. In that case, the frame of reference is something fixed. It's in a fixed position so that we know which is moving and which is not. Speed concepts, we know alternative ways to type and write out fractions, multiplication, exponents, and square roots. The differences between instantaneous speed and average speed is simply instantaneous speed is in that exact moment you look at the speedometer, and average speed, well, is taken from the beginning of the trip to the end, and you add them together, divided by 2. It's your average speed after elapsed time. We have an average speed calculation too. Actually, it's v is equal to d over t, and v1 or vf plus v0 divided by 2. We went through quite a lot of practice questions. Well, and we learned about some new methods on how to solve speed problems. The main one being listing every single thing that you have written down. Okay. So in our next lesson, we're going to learn more about speed. It's going to get so much more exciting, and you won't want to miss it. Thank you so much for learning with us today at International Schooling. Remember, at International Schooling, we believe you are absolutely unique and you deserve to have flexibility and you deserve that from your school, not the other way around. Okay, wishing you the best. Remember, it's okay to grow, it's okay to learn and make mistakes. It's your location, your school, your time. Thank you for joining me for Grade 9 American Curriculum, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.
International Online School.